Hey everyone, I'm Bob Jablonsky with Jablonsky Tax Relief. I'm a certified tax resolution specialist, and we help taxpayers who have tax problems, as well as other with other tax issues. But a big specialty of ours is helping taxpayers who have tax problems. One of the things that taxpayers often come to me and say is, "Well, I can pay the taxes. I'm willing to pay the taxes, but I don't want to pay all these penalties and so on." And so we're going to cover today one of the two methods to reduce IRS penalties, reduce or remove. There's two. One is called a first-time penalty abatement, or FTA. The other is called reasonable cause. Today we're going to cover first-time penalty abatement, or FTA. So what is it? In summary, it's a waiver of certain tax penalties for qualifying taxpayers. Now that's pretty generic, right? But it's only certain tax penalties, and it's for only qualifying taxpayers. So let's talk a little bit about that. What penalties can be removed? What are the qualifying penalties? Well, one is a failure to file return. If you don't know much about that, that's 5% per month, up to 25% when you file late. The other is a failure to pay on time, failure to pay return penalty, and that's a 0.5% per month, and it could go up to 25% after 50 months. Finally, there's a failure to deposit required taxes, or an FTD. That we're primarily going to see with payroll taxes, where you're required to deposit them timely. One of the things I will note is that interest itself is not at the discretion of the IRS. They can only remove interest if they make a mistake in calculating it. So interest is not on the tax itself, will not be removed. However, interest is accruing on all of these penalties. And if you remove the penalties, generally the interest related to those penalties will be removed. So who qualifies? What are the qualifying factors? Well, you couldn't have had one of these three penalties in the last 3 years if you want to qualify for this FTA abatement. You have to have all of your required filings, all your required returns are filed or extended. If you've listened to some of my other videos, you would know that generally that's the last 6 years of returns that are required to be filed. And then the tax has to be paid, or you must be on a payment plan. You can't owe the IRS, not be in a payment plan, and request penalty abatement. So this is an example of someone we actually worked with. He was a small business owner. They owed over $42,000 in failure to file and failure to pay penalties after the filing date. We confirmed their eligibility. We filed an FTA request, and we followed up with the IRS. And we were able to have their penalties removed, and it resulted in a $47,000 refund. The penalties themselves, plus the interest related to those penalties, and that went to the client. A check was cut to them, so it can occur. We do it all the time. How we can help? Well, we can first of all, you have to be eligible, right? We talked about that. So verifying your eligibility and preparing a strong request. We will communicate it directly with the IRS to get it done. And then if FTA is not an option for you, maybe there's another option. Maybe it's reasonable cause penalty abatement. Maybe you just, you need to maybe qualify for an offer in compromise, a settlement, or some other plan that is the best solution that you can get. We can help you with all of those options if you do not qualify for FTA. So hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please like the video so others will watch it. If you're not a subscriber to our channel today, please subscribe. If you have any quick comments or thoughts or questions, leave them in the comments below. If you are looking for a tax professional to guide you through your process that you want to bring on, give us a call, 972-821-1991, or set up some time on my calendar. The link is in the description below. Once again, hope you enjoyed it, and hope you all have a great day.